that we've done virtually, and we will be, following some similar formats from the past. I'm hoping you all had the ability to view the videos that provide the update from all of the teams. And I'm just going to give, some opening thoughts on and kind of updates more broadly on the consortium at this point before we will be going into our breakout rooms to talk about specific projects and planning and what's happening. So let me just wait. I see there's a few more people coming in from the waiting room. And let me go ahead and begin. So I'm actually joining you not from UBC in Vancouver this year, but I'm actually fortunate to be spending the year at Stanford University at the Center for Advanced Studies in Behavioral Sciences. So my land acknowledgement will be particular to that land and space. So I want to recognize that Stanford sits on the ancestral land of the Muwekma Ohlone tribe, and this land was and continues to be of great importance to the Ohlone people, consistent with, I think, the values of all of us who are a part of this consortium and our community, our values of community and inclusion. I want to encourage you to acknowledge, honor, and make visible the native land where you are by typing that information in the chat if you have it handy, or if you want to look it up and explore it. Trisha's put this link that appears on the slide as well, so that you can provide that acknowledgement for people to see. So let me start by just talking about some of the, deliverables from this past year, the types of things that that we've been putting together as communicating out the work that we do here as the ESS Consortium. Rebecca Parker, who many of you might know, has really done such a fantastic job of creating these infographic white papers, or they're really very colorful, so white paper doesn't seem to do it justice. But I want to talk about 4 white papers that are available on our website: one on role models in STEM, one on anti-bias interventions, on behavioral insights, and on reducing boys stereotyping. So Trisha's put the link to this directly into the chat, and I encourage you to go onto the resources tab and download these white papers so that you have them. Feel free to distribute them. Feel free to direct other people toward them. If you have ideas of white paper topics that you would like to see, feel free to communicate that to us as well. We're always looking for new ideas. We do also, on this resources link, have links to some of the reports that the Project RISE team has put together. In particular, we have a summary of our key findings from the RISE workshop study that is available. We sent that out to our partners in April, but I want to share that more broadly with everyone in the consortium. So feel free to take a look at that as well. And if you're coming to the RISE meeting in just a bit, feel free to kind of take a browse through this, because there'll be an opportunity to kind of look this over and ask questions about some of these findings as well. Many of them were highlighted in Hillary's portion of our RISE video. We do have some new infographics that Rebecca is developing, so you can look forward to seeing these in the next month or two. One on typology of allyship action, really featuring some of the conceptual and theoretical work that Lucy D'Souza has been doing, and one on gender inclusion and fit that summarizes some of a recent paper that I've had this last year. Other kind of exciting developments, many of you might have remembered kind of an early introduction a couple years ago now. I guess it was when we were in person in Vancouver, Our RISE team, some members of our RISE team, were creating this allyship simulation, and we're kind of in the next phase of that. This is a web tool that's designed to illustrate the impact of bias and the benefits of allyship for creating inclusion in social networks. It's grounded in some of the ESS research and the science of bias, and it features a real-time interactive network simulation. We're inviting anyone who's interested in learning more about this to work with us to beta test this website as we're putting together the content in a way that people can go through it and and go through it without it being moderated or facilitated by someone, to learn and explore how it works. So if this is something that you think you might be interested in, please send an email to Audrey a day. I think Trish might have, well, I think you have the link to put it, you already did. And yeah, I guess Audrey here has put the link in the chat. Feel free to message Audrey directly if you're interested in beta testing this. And we'll have a chance to talk about this a little bit more in our RISE meeting as well. So I want to move on to kind of announcing some sort of celebrating some of the successes of members of our consortium. First, I'll talk about some recent promotions. Elizabeth Croft, who can't be with us here today, unfortunately, was promoted to Vice President of Academic and Provost at the University of Victoria, and sort of made the move back from Australia to Vancouver this summer. We have 3 team members who've been promoted to full professor. Andy, I know this happened last year, but I forgot to include Andy in the shout out last year, so I wanted to make sure I included him this year. So Andy Barron, Jen Steele, and Liz Page Gould, congrats on promotion to full professor. Antonia Gonzalez received tenure and was promoted to associate professor at Western Washington University. And Katie Kroper and Rotem Kahalan were both have taken on new positions as assistant professors. Katie at Sacred Heart University and Rotem at Bar-Ilan University in Israel. So congrats to everyone for these amazing career advancements. I see lots of applause, so that's great. We also have several folks who've received awards over this past year that I want to acknowledge. Sonia Kang at University of Toronto, the Outstanding Research Impact Award. Joyce He received the Governor General's Gold Medal. Cheryl Staub French received the Envisioning Equality Award, and I already mentioned I'm here at the Center for Advanced Studies. And with great appreciation and gratitude to Andy Barron and Hilary Bergseeker, who spearheaded what ended up being a successful nomination for a Killam Mentoring Award. So thanks so much to you guys for that. I also want to welcome new team members to the consortium this year, and I hope many of you are joining us here today, and if not, welcome them if you get a chance to see them some other time during the meeting. So we have several new graduate students, Rebecca Anderson at Brock, Alice Cho at Rotman, Grace Denny at University of Waterloo, Grace Edmonds at Ohio State, Ariana Hernandez Colmenares at Ohio State, Chanel Hines at University of Toronto, Leah Huang at University of Toronto, and Courtney Moore at Ohio State. And several new postdoctoral trainees. Some of these are folks who have been part of the consortium as graduate students and have kind of advanced in, but a new postdoc, Angie Mina Park, you were introduced to her in the Sync video at Gate and Rotman. Francine Carmali and Jacqueline Koyama, who've been part of Sync and graduate students and now postdoctoral fellows at U of T. And Anthea Pun, formerly grad student at UBC, now a postdoc working with Project Climb. And I also want to, these aren't really new team members, but just acknowledge some new positions that people have taken on and thank them for their service to the consortium. Jessica Lee at UBC has been our ESS social media coordinator for the last several months, so helping to kind of give shout outs to research and other announcements and so forth on social media. And Audrey Day here at UBC as well has been working as our ESS website coordinator. And given that, I want to kind of give a mention that Audrey is going to be helping to spearhead some updates to our website over the next several months. Our project team members know that she's going to be reaching out to them for information about how we can helpfully revamp aspects of our website to better share the research and the findings and the work that we do now that we have findings after the few years of work that we've been putting in. So this is just some information about the timeline for that, where Audrey's going to be working to improve accessibility and usability of the website to really facilitate knowledge translation and encourage greater exploration of the site. So if you're poking around on the website during this meeting and have a thought or feedback or idea, or if you're, one of the team leaders and you're, like, oh, I really wish the website could do X, Y, or Z, please do shoot an email to Audrey to give her that information now while things are kind of top in mind. The other welcome that I want to give is to 4 new ESS partners that are organizations working in STEM contexts. Binney, Dana Incorporated, Mott McDonald, and Viola Water Technologies and Solutions, formerly Suez. I think we have Suki Winkler here from Data Incorporated, and so I want to welcome her and really just sort of express the gratitude that we have for the partnership with Dana as well as these other organizations. And finally, I want to thank the members of the ESS organizers who've been working behind the scenes to put together the schedule that we have for you today and tomorrow. So Cameron Hall, Andy Barron, Chanel Hines, Sonia Kang, and Trish Smith, who beyond just organizing the meeting, sort of organizes so much more of what we do here today or do with our consortium. And to give you a little bit of a sneak peek, we're going to be in the process when this meeting's done, thinking forward to next year, probably, around this same time, the same week next year, in fact, for our ESS Knowledge Sharing Conference. So when we put together the grant and received this funding, we had said we would have these annual meetings that were, designed for and our members of our own consortium, the 80 to 100 people who are connected with the consortium. But we also said that in year 7 of the grant, we would have a larger knowledge sharing conference that would be open to a broader segment of the public who are interested. This will be held in person at the University of Toronto, sponsored partly with GATE, the Gender and the Economy, at the Rotman School of Management and U of T. And so save the date, put it on your calendar right now. We're talking about November 16th, where we would have keynote speakers, probably more of a poster session, kind of more of an outward facing conference. And November 17th would be a bit more like this meeting typically is, more focused on the consortium itself. And again, these invitations will be extended beyond the ESS Consortium meeting. And if you're here as a partner organization and you think you might be interested in working with us to help sponsor this meeting, please let us know, reach out to me or to Trish. And I think we're going to launch just a quick poll, which I'm going to ask Trish to do, just as you're looking at your calendar and putting this on, just to kind of get a read for who thinks they might be able or interested in attending this meeting. And again, it will be in person next year. So Trish, are you able to launch that?
Yep, I see results coming in.
Oh yeah, I'll let you tell me when it's over, because we're sharing an account. I actually can't see it myself.
Okay, that looks great. I think we've totally maxed our, looks like 50% of people say, yeah, they definitely want to be there. Another 43%, maybe I would like to be able to come, and only 3% not likely given other conflicts.
Okay. Well, mark your calendars if you're in the first two categories so that you don't overwrite it with something else happening. Quick shout out just for the newsletter that will be coming up. So we'll have more information about papers and presentations and things like that. If you have that information on the research side of things, please make sure you get that to Trish. If you're a partner of the organization, we'd love to know about your recent EDI activities or outreach efforts. So please let us know that kind of information. We'd love to feature things like that in our newsletter, and we don't always know what's going on unless we get that communicated with us. So send Trish an email about that too, if you'd like. Okay, so we're gonna get started then, going into our project group meetings, and we'll have an hour for those, followed by a break. Then we'll come back, and these are all Pacific time, so just add 3 hours if you're on the East Coast, or less than that if you're in the middle. We'll come back and have two great talks by two of our team members, Jackie Koyama and Audrey Day. I will say just a quick goodbye and teaser for what's to come tomorrow. And then for graduate students who are members, graduate students and postdocs who are members of the consortium, and faculty who've signed up to be part of this mentoring session, we'll be doing that at the end of the session. But with that, I don't want to take any more time away from the project group meetings. So Trish, I think, is going to open the breakout rooms, and we will head off into those. Anything else you want to say first, Trish? No. Okay. So, Trish, remind me here, we need to choose what we go into. Is that right?
Yes, everyone should be able to self-select. Is that happening? Yeah, it looks like people are self-selecting into their rooms. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And Trish, you're going to stay back here in the room, right? In case.
Yes, I'll stay in the main room.
Okay. All right. I will see you back then at the end.
Okay, sounds good.